Shalom, shalom. It's SOJ. Tour Nights back with another live stream, and this live stream gonna be over. Destruction of the high places, and smashing pillars and breaking apart the idols. Just destroying all idolatry, anything against the Torah, and what I'm saying, and anything that tries to contend with Yahweh, because there's neither knowledge, wisdom, or understanding against Yahweh, because Yahweh created it all. So first and foremost, give all praises to Yahweh, and also Shabbat Shalom, and hope everybody have a peaceful and restful Shabbat, and soak in the teachings, and get some studying done, and but yeah, like I said, that's what the video is gonna be over, because Yasharal, still caught up in that idolatry. They just don't know when to turn away from it. So, and it seemed like because Yasharal is stiff-necked people, so no matter how much you talk to them, they always gonna they gonna just turn back to whatever they was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because just like in the wilderness, it's like you said, it said you would drop in the wilderness for 40 years, and my bad, your children will be wanderers in the wilderness for 40 years, and your carcass will drop in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? Because they also brought a bad report about the land, about the Tower Wild, which they went to go seek and search. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, pass it off to the next brother. Get in there, shalom.
All right, shalom, shalom. I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Kahala, Yahweh, Barakatah, Yahweh. Peace to the panel, peace to everybody who came on. This is what we do. This is all work. We're just gonna do what we do, y'all. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom to the panel. Shalom to everybody that's watching. This is Brother Z. I want to say Yahweh Akkad, and may the Most High guide us as we do this video. I pray that we're able to edify or teach something new to somebody out there today. And without further ado, here we go. Shalom.
Shalom,
Ben,
shalom. Oh, sorry.
I
Go ahead.
say shalom too, but yeah. All right, you can go. Yeah, so shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Akkad, Shabbat Shalom. I'm just ready to get into this video and bring down these high places like our forefathers before us. But with that being said, shalom, and hope you guys take heed.
Con. So I wanted to bring out this first verse real quick. So this Deuteronomy 12. Deuteronomy 12. I'm gonna start at verse 1. These are the decrees and the ordinances that you shall observe to perform in the land that Yahweh, the God of your forefathers, has given you to possess it all the days that you live on the land, the land of Yasharal, or the land of Canaan. Verse 2. You shall surely utterly destroy all the places where the nations that you are driving away worship their gods, on the high mountains and on the hills and under every leafy tree. You shall break apart their altars. You shall smash their pillars, and their sacred trees shall you burn in the fire. Their carved images shall you cut down, and you shall obliterate their name from that place. You know what I'm saying? So, remember the land that flows, with milk and honey, our heritage. So the people that was already in the land, they were worshiping, demons, and they were into idolatry, and human sacrifice, and just carved images, worshiping idols in wood and stone, gold and silver. So you can't. That's profane. So it would be like base. It'd be like copper or iron. So you can't mix that with holy, which is Kodash, which is Yahweh. And we shall be holy, for Yahweh is holy. So when we came into the land, we had to cleanse the land of all idolatry, of all abominations and detestable images, wherever they worship their gods. You know what I'm saying? But and also I wanted to go to Numbers 33. But also, it's as much as it is physical, it's spiritual first. So you know what I'm saying? The idolatry is within the mind and the heart. You know what I'm saying? They can't.
I got a verse for you right now. pretty much explains what the brother's saying. This is going to be Hosea chapter 4, verse 12. It says, "My people ask of its wood, and its rod relates to it. For a spirit of harlotry has misled them, and they have strayed from under their God. They sacrifice, they slaughter sacrifices under the mountaintops, and they burn incense under the hills, under oak and polar and elm, for their shade is good. Therefore, your daughters commit harlotry, and your daughter-in-law commit harlotry." So, there it is right there.
Con. And remember from Hosea, it says, like harlotry, which also be considered adultery, is the same as idolatry, because you're seeking out love from, the idols, which, we're supposed to love Yahweh with all our hearts, our minds, and our souls, not give his glory to another. His glory will not be given to another. You know what I'm saying? But if you go to Numbers 33, I think 33 verse 52. Hold on, give me 1 second. Numbers 33 verse 52, right? It says
I got a verse again after you, bro.
let me read this real quick. It's Numbers 33 verse 50. Yahweh spoke to Moses in the plain of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, "Speak to the children of Yasharal and say to them, when you cross the Jordan to the land of Canaan, you shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land before you. You shall destroy all their prostration stones, all their molten images shall you destroy, and all their high places shall you demolish." You know what I'm saying? Wherever they worship their gods, wherever they worship any image, it had to be destroyed, because you can't mix the profane, with the holy. But with that, I yield. Pass it on to the next brother.
Con, I had a verse after the brother to pretty much back up what he was saying, and it's going to be continuing in Hosea, Hosea chapter 6. It's going to be Hosea chapter 6, starting at verse 4. And it says, "What can I do for you, Ephraim? And what can I do for you, Judah? When your kindness is like the morning cloud and like the dew that departs in the early morning. Because I have made my words clear cut through the prophets, I have slain the sinners through the utterance of my mouth. Can your judgment be favorable as the light? For I desire kindness and not sacrifice, and knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. But like Adam, they transgressed the covenant. There, they betrayed me. Says Gilead is a city of evildoers, of those who waylay for blood, like gangs awaiting a man to rob. A band of priests murders on the road on the road with one will, for they devised a plot. So that really just shows you deep into the minds of our people, especially when it comes to this idolatry and us falling away from the Most High. It's true. We were supposed to be priests, but we've turned into gangs, murderers. You know what I'm saying? That's not every brother and sister, but when it comes to our people as a whole, we've become on a lower scheme. We've been dwelling on a lower scheme of our thinking for a long time. The Most High said it. He said desires kindness, not sacrifice, and knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. So us destroying these pillars is us getting rid of these false ideals in our minds and these false ideas of what the Creator wants. All these idols and all the world, they serve their idols in ways to where they pay homage to them, giving things to them that they think they want. Like certain idols they feel want certain things, so they try to give their idols certain things. You know what I mean? And our people are trying to serve the Creator, trying to satisfy the Creator, try to give him things the same way they were serving the idols of the nations. And it's false, and it won't work. You know what I'm saying? The only way to sacrifice truly to the Creator is to do kindness and to have knowledge of him, which means to fear him, because the more knowledge you have of the Creator, the more you fear him. The first, you know what I mean? Well, the fear of the Most High is the first step, but I'm a yield and let it go.
All right. I want to add something to that, and we're gonna actually go back I'm gonna go back to what a brother was in Deuteronomy 12, and I'm gonna start in verse number 29. And it says, and this is gonna be something key that was told to us. Well, let's just start 28. It says, safeguard and hearken to all of these words that I command you, in order that it be well with you and your children after you forever, when you do what is good and right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim. When Yahweh your Elohim will cut down the nations to which you come to take possession from before you, you will take possession from them and settle in their land. Beware for yourself, lest you be attracted after them. They have been destroyed before you, and lest you seek out their gods, saying, now here go the key. How did these nations worship their gods? And even I will do the same. Verse 31, you shall not do so to Yahweh your God, for everything that is an abomination of Yahweh that he hates have they done to their gods. For even their sons and daughters, they have burnt them in the fire to their gods. So number one, it told us not to worship Yahweh the way they worship their God. And that just goes back to what the brother said, I'm sorry, it goes back to what the Torah said, like you said, for I desire kindness and not sacrifice. Knowledge of God more than burnt offerings and sacrifices, because clearly those people was into that. And I want to back this up with a precept. I'm gonna go somewhere y'all probably wouldn't expect. Can somebody hold Deuteronomy number 4? Excuse me. Can somebody hold Deuteronomy 4 and 15? And I'm gonna get.
I got you.
Okay. Hold that Deuteronomy 4:15, and I'm gonna get this actually out the Apocrypha. This is gonna be the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter number 14. I'm gonna start at verse number 12. It says, "For the devising of idols is the beginning of fornication, and the invention of them is the corruption of life." I'm gonna read that again. For the devising of idols is the beginning of fornication. So that goes back to what the brother said, creating idols and all of that. It's like what the scripture said, it's fornicating, it's committing adultery. But notice what it says for the devising. So at the very minute, mentally or physically, that you even start to do the work, before the idol is even created, you're already fornicating. So you're already breaking the covenant, because through the covenant we marry Yahweh. That's just how it go.
I got something to back you up, brother.
I got you. And it says, for the devising of idols is the beginning of fornication, and the invention of them is the corruption of life. So go ahead and read that Deuteronomy 4:15.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 15. But you shall greatly beware for your souls. But you shall greatly beware for your souls, for you did not see any likeness on the day that Yahweh spoke to you at Horeb from the midst of the fire. Verse 16. Lest you act corruptly and make for yourself a carved image, a likeness of any shape, a form of a male or a female. I'm gonna continue on down. I'm gonna continue.
But hey, wait, before you continue, did it say lest you act what?
Corruptly.
Corruptly. Okay, so that's just like it says right here, where it says, for the devising of idols is the beginning of fornication, and the invention of them is the corruption of life. But go ahead with your precept. I got another precept behind it.
I was just gonna finish it. Verse 17. A form of any animal that is on the earth, a form of any winged bird that flies in the heaven, a form of anything that creeps on the ground, a form of any fish that is in the water under the earth, unless you raise your eyes to the heaven and you see the sun and the moon and the stars and the entire legion of heaven, and you be drawn astray and bow to them and worship them, which Yahweh your God has appointed to all the peoples under the entire heaven. You know what I'm saying? Verse 20. But Yahweh has taken you and withdrawn you from the iron crucible, from Egypt, to be a nation of heritage for him as this very day. So,
okay. And I want to back that up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna demonstrate, just like the Torah has said, it warned us against doing those things, and it told us that would corrupt us, right? Now let's get a demonstration of being corrupted for not heeding the warning. And that's going to be Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. Start at verse number 26. It says, no. Verse number 26, yeah. Like the shame of a thief when it is discovered, so has the house of Israel been shamed. They, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, they say to the wood, you are my father, and to the stone, you have borne us. You see that? First thing first, that's ignorant. To tell the same tree you just cut down and shaped into something that you're our father. And to tell the stone you dug out of the ground, you born us. That's what comes with the idol worship. You lose your mind. Hence, we got a lot of people worshiping a dude on a piece of wood with 3 stones around his feet, saying he's the one who made them. But hold on, one more time. And then you go ahead and get your precept out. And that's going to be Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse number 12. For the devising of idols is the beginning of fornication, and the invention of them is the corruption of life. With that, I yield.
I was going back to brother with a definition, but I'm still looking for it. I had found it another day ago. So if any other brothers want to take it away.
Anybody else? Because I got a couple verses to bring out.
Shalom. I do got some verses that I would like to bring out. Just give me a second. I'm trying to find a precept to go with this verse. But the verses that I'm coming out with at the moment is going to be in Hosea chapter 8. And give me 1 second.
I'm gonna just in the meanwhile, I'm gonna finish up that Jeremiah 2. And it says, I'm gonna start that again. And that's gonna be Jeremiah the 2nd chapter, starting at verse number 26. Like the shame of a thief when he is discovered, so that the house of Israel has been shamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests and their prophets, they said to the wood, you are my father, and the stone, you have borne us. To me, they turned their backs and not their faces, but in their time of distress, they will say, arise and save us. Now, where are your gods that you made for yourself? See that? And you know what? We're going to go into a little something with this, because we're going to show that this is actually an ancient sin too. Like, it's the sin of turning yourself into a god. You know what I'm saying? In that sense, to be worshipped and reverenced.
I found
that's
it.
Blasphemy. Go ahead, bro.
I found something related to it. What I had found was actually earlier. What I had found was the word to lay. It also means carnal fornication. It also means to die. But I was looking for the word exactly, and I forgot. I was still looking for it, but I found another word. I found the word for idol. And its connotations, and I can read them out here, so we can get a better understanding of them. The word for idol would be ayats. Ayats. And the definitions is, it says to be nothing, to be light, easy, to be strong, nothingness, falsehood, vanity, idol, idols, house of idols, wickedness, iniquity, adversity, calamity, sorrow, power, strength, vigor, beginning of strength, wealth, riches, nothingness. You know what I'm saying? These are just other connotations and other definite. I mean, you know, this is the word here. You know what I mean? And based off all that, I haven't heard anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to get that laid out. Adversity, you know, calamity, wickedness, nothingness, to be nothing. You know what I'm saying? Idols. That's what it means. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or wealth and riches. Those are idols as well. That's on there as well. Or strength itself also can be an idol because people glorify strength in many different ways. So, you know what I mean?
Con.
And then and you know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's you know it's idol glory. So you know like you don't want to take pride in the work of your own hands because that's idolatry. Somebody had to sit there and make that cross and put it up on that wall, or carve out that Jeebus and put it in the demon hall. You know what I'm saying? Which would be the church. You know, the idols of wood and stone, right? Matter of fact, watch this real. Watch this. Hold on, hold on. If a brother could hold on. I just had it. What was it?
I was gonna say that so by simplistic definitions or simplistic pretty much summarize the topic, honestly, to pretty much get rid of these things within yourself, to get rid of this, to get rid of falsehood, to get rid of nothingness, you know what I mean, iniquity, wickedness, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? To get rid of these things within yourself, stop stop giving strength or power to these things within yourself. You know what I'm saying? With people we glorify strength, we glorify wealth, we glorify, riches and all these things. But the truth is that all that your fear should belong to the Most High Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? So the truth is we got to destroy the principles of idolatry within ourselves. And what are the principles? Things like wickedness, you know what I'm saying? Things like what?
Things like depending on, like, that's, I give an example. That's kind of the reason why we fast. We fast because we're showing and we're proving that it's not bread, water, food that really keeps you going. Because we take that time off to remind, in my definition, when we fast, we take that time off to remind ourselves it's the higher power that really fuels you up. And I think attachment, certain attachments, too much dependability on materialistic stuff, money, that's an idol. With that,
Kind of said wealth.
And then think about it like this. Like, say, look at Yasharal, you know what I'm saying? So, you growing up in the projects in the ghetto, most don't try to be rappers or, like drug dealers and all that, you know what I'm saying? So them being in that low state and they see, other brothers and sisters doing that, they want to do it too. Not knowing that it's a corrupt way of life. You know what I'm saying? Because they see the riches, they see the wealth, they see all that, and they want the same thing. Not knowing that, even though it's a way that seems right to a man, but at its end are the ways of death. You know what I'm saying? You just letting that foolish wisdom. You letting that foolish wisdom inside the temple. But can I get a brother to hold what was it? Isaiah 31 verse 1 through 3.
I got that.
And then can I get another brother to hold Jeremiah 44 verse 7 through 8. If a brother can get that real quick. If not, I got it. I just wanted to show this real quick to know, remember Egypt, is like the dry, desolate mind, which will also be considered idolatry, because like they buried themselves with cats and dogs.
I'm sorry, you said Jeremiah 44?
Yeah, Jeremiah 44 7 through 8.
Is there an echo when I'm speaking?
No, I don't hear anything.
No, you fine.
Cool.
Okay, I got Jeremiah. You said 44 verse 7 through
7 and 8.
Okay.
Avanya, if you can get that Isaiah 31 for me real quick.
All right. That's going to be Isaiah chapter 31, starting at verse number 1. Woe to those who go down to Egypt for help and who rely on horses. They trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. And they did not depend on the Holy One of Israel, and they did not seek out Yahweh. But he is also wise. He has brought calamity, and he did not retract his words. He will rise up against the house of evildoers and against those who assist sinners. Egypt is a man and not a god, and their horses are of flesh and of not of spirit. Yahweh will stretch out his hand, and the helper will stumble, and the help will fall, and they will all perish together.
Con, right? Now, I'm gonna read from this First Kings 12, and I'm gonna start at verse 28. Right?
Hey, I don't want to cut you off, but Nagy's trying to get back in.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. I ain't even see y'all brothers on there. So, this First Kings 12, I'm gonna start at verse 28. The king took counsel, and he made 2 golden calves, and he said to the people, "It is too far for you to go up to Jerusalem. These are your gods, O Yasharal, who brought you up from the land of Egypt." He placed the one in Bethel and the other one in Dan. This matter became a sin, and the people traveled all the way to Dan to worship before one of them. He also made a temple of high places, and he appointed priests from the commoners of the people who were not of the children of Levi. Jeroboam also innovated a holiday in the 8th month on the 15th day of the month, in imitation of the holy day in Yahweh, and brought offerings on the altar. He did the same in Bethel, sacrificing to the calves that he had made, and in Bethel he set up the priests of the high places that he had made. He ascended the altar that he had made in Bethel on the 15th day of the 8th month, in the month that he had fabricated with his imagination. He made a holiday for the children of Yasharal. He ascended the altar to burn incense, right? And Jeroboam also went down. If I'm not mistaken, he went down to Egypt, right?
Yes, he did.
Right. All right. So remember, Egypt is known for stupidity or foolishness. So him going down there, he picked up those customs, right? Which is why he's going off his imagination and adding to Yahweh's word. Remember, it says you shall not
being cramped and stupid. But yeah, thanks for letting me back in, Tawada. I just wanted to say that.
No problem. But I also wanted to go back to if you go to, he also made a temple of high places, and he appointed priests from the commoners of the people who are not of the children of Levi. Remember, the children of Levi are supposed to, to be the teachers of the Torah. Who's supposed to minister to Yasharal, right? So if you look at this, I'm gonna screen share something real quick.
Right. I got a precept too for that.
Can y'all see the screen?
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So you see this?
You still want me to get that verse, or you still waiting on it?
I was waiting on it. If you could get it right after this, right?
Cool.
So right, if you go to First Kings 12, verse 31, right? It says why ash, or it would be ashar, which means to make, ath, which means like concerning, bayath, which is also house or temple, and then it says ba mawath, and it says high places, right? Ba mawath, this word right here, ba mawath, which is what you would get for elevation or high place, right? But ba is also a prefix, which means in, or with, or among, right? And then you also get mawath, right? Mawath means death. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the definition real quick. So give me 1 second. All right. You get Mawat, which is Strong's 4191, right? You get to kill, die, be dead, dead man, dead body, worthy of death, destroyer, caused to be like death, to kill, necromancer, to slay, you know. It also means death or pestilence or ruin. You know what I'm saying? So he made a house of ruin. You know, the high places that he made was a place of death. You know, the covenant of death, the covenant with death, the covenant with idolatry, with vanity. But Z, if you could get that Jeremiah for me.
Khan. This is going to be Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 7 through 8, starting in verse 7. It says, "And now, thus saith Yahweh, the God of legions, the God of Yasharal, why are you doing great evil to your souls, to cut off from yourselves man and woman, child and infant, from the midst of Judah, not to leave yourselves a remnant, to anger me with the deeds of your hands, to burn incense to the gods of others in the land of Egypt, where you have gone to sojourn, so that you will cut yourselves off, and so that you will be like a curse and a disgrace among all the nations of the earth."
Khan.
By us committing spiritual adultery as far as the nation against the Most High, we're putting ourselves up for like extreme, like, you know, measures. I mean, we're putting ourselves up for the curses of the covenant to fall upon us, which include death.
Okay, I got a precept to back this up, and this is just for anybody, you know, who still might be stuck in that cycle, like my man said, the demon hall, that cycle of Christianity. Listen to Ezekiel chapter 20, verse number 7. And it says, "And I said to them, every man cast away the detestable idols of his eyes, and do not defile yourselves with the idols of Egypt. I am Yahweh your God." Now, when you think about that, it says, "Do not defile yourselves with the idols of Egypt." So in the modern day, the idol of Egypt is the cross. It was the cross then in Egypt, just called the Ankh. It's the cross now. I'm going to read that again. "And I said to them, every man cast away the detestable idols of his eyes, and do not defile yourselves with the idols of Egypt. I am Yahweh your God." So I guess one of the main points is that idolatry, you know, going back to the golden calves of Jeroboam, going back to the golden calf with Aaron, like that idolatry is really, it really gets under Yahweh. Like it really angers him, you know, and obviously it gets us destroyed. But I just wanted to hit on that Ezekiel 20 and 7. Really think about that. Because you know, like the scriptures say, you know, what happened then happens again. So it's like there was a cross then that we wasn't supposed to deal with. And it's telling us, do not defile yourselves with the idols of Egypt. So if you look at that cross and you think that's not an Egyptian thing, you crazy. With that, I yield.
Khan. Any other
X, we can't hear you talking. X is trying to talk. Can you guys hear him?
Nah, I can't hear anything.
Nah, no one can hear you at all. No, I don't think anyone's been able to hear you. I'm sorry.
But Khan, because you know idolatry, it's an image. You know, they have this image in their hearts and their minds when they pray. It's in their mind. So it is their prayer is considered an abomination. You know what I'm saying? But so like give me 1 second. I was trying to find this verse in Ezekiel real quick.
Hey Davion, X is gonna drop back out, so he said, could you pull him back in once he jumps back in? He's okay. He's gonna jump back in. So
Okay. Damn, I just had the verse. I know. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Right. This Right. Okay. So the high places, right? High places would be like the church. You know what I'm saying? Go there. They worship their gods. You know, the it's just that the idol that they hold in their heart. You know what I'm saying? They come to that conception of thought about that idol. Which when you keep the Torah, you know, you sit upon, like Yahweh's holy mountain, which is conception of thought of Yahweh and the contemplation upon the Tarawah. You know what I'm saying? And it all starts with the sanctuary, because remember, Yahweh meets you in the mind. So this is or Yahweh searches the innermost part. He tests you like with the plumb line. To see what you made of, to strengthen you, right? So this is Ezekiel 8, right? This is idolatry in the temple. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It happened in the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th of the month. I was sitting in my house, and the elders of Yahweh that was sitting before me, and the hand of Adonai Yahweh Elohim fell upon me there. I saw, and behold, there was a likeness like the appearance of fire. From the appearance of his loins and downward there was fire. From his loins and upward was like the appearance of a radiance like the color of Kashmir. Then he stretched forth the form of a hand and took me by a lock of my head, and a wind, right? Remember wind, which is, the mind, spirit, mind, and wind, the Rawak, carried me between the earth and the heavens and brought me to Jerusalem in divine visions, right? Remember, Jerusalem is also the mind state. To the entrance of the inner gate that faces northward, where the seat of the provocative image of provocation stood. And behold, the glory of God of Yasharal was there, like the appearance that I had seen in the valley, right? Verse 5. He said to me, Son of man, lift your eyes now to the way northward. So I lifted up my eyes to the way northward, and behold, north of the altar gate, this image of provocation was in the entryway. Then he said to me, Son of man, do you see what they do? Great abominations are the people of the house of Yasharal committing here, to cause me to distance myself from my sanctuary, and now you will yet again see great abominations, right? He said, distance himself from his sanctuary. So, he can't dwell in the midst of uncleanliness. Let me add X back in.
I think more than one. Judah and Jordan want you to post the link inside the YouTube chat.
Okay. Oh, give me 1 second. We'll do that real quick. But yeah, I just want the idolatry in the temple. He said to distance himself, from my sanctuary. Yahweh dwells within. It's the spirit, the mind. Yahweh meets you in the mind. So when he distances himself, you have no guidance, no instruction, no direction.
And if I can add on that, why are you doing that, brother? The thing is, the incense altar in the inside is always going up. It's always that sacrifice altar is always, it has smoke rising up on it always, right? And if the incense altar stands for the heart, it means like basically on the outward side, on a copper altar, there's sacrifices conducted, but there's time in between. You know what I'm saying? There's a link to time in between. On the inside, it's continuous forever. So basically, on the inside, it's holy. It can't, no blood shall enter. You know what I mean? That place. So it's like on the inside, don't let this ever be touched. You know what I'm saying? Keep this pure. On the inside, in your mind, in your heart, and in your spirit, keep the Tarawah pure. Keep the thought of the Most High Yahweh pure. You know what I'm saying? Keep the 10 Commandments pure. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't corrupt this knowledge that you've been blessed with. You know what I'm saying? Learn upon it and gain wisdom upon it. But don't cease the incense altar burning on the inside. You know what I mean? And it's a verse that I wanted to get to that, because it shows that pretty much on the outside that people can do, we will make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But only once you let that idolatry inside, once you let that filth with that blood on the inside, it contaminates everything inside. I'll show you what I mean. This is going to be First Kings chapter 1, and it says King Solomon loved. This is I'm sorry. This is going to be First Kings chapter 11. It's going to be First Kings chapter 11, and it says King Solomon loved many foreign women, in addition to the daughter of Pharaoh, Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Sidonites, and Hittites, from the nations of which Yahweh has said to the children of Israel, do not come into marriage with them, and they shall not come into marriage with you, for they will surely sway your hearts. They will surely sway your hearts after their gods. Solomon clung to them for love. As you can see, what I was just saying, like pretty much once you let that in your heart, once you let that on the incense altar, it gets corrupted. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So pretty much you want to keep it pure. You know what I'm saying? As much as you can. You know, because once you start letting idolatry into your heart, once you start letting these ways, these practices into your heart, that's when it starts to corrupt you, and that's when it starts to drag you under. You know, you become you know what I'm saying? You become for a certain punishment. And I just want to say that, Salah.
Hey, Shalom, Judah. I see you're rocking the Japanese like I am. That's pretty cool. I can barely see it, though. It's really small. What does it say? What does that Japanese say? I can barely read it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It says Judah Naz in Japanese.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Shalom, brother. Shabbat shalom to the Akim.
Yeah, shalom. I had to come in several times because my internet died. I'm thinking it might die, again. So we'll see how long this lasts.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
this is
connect, bro.
Yeah, it's straight up trash today. Normally it's not this bad, but anyway. Solak.
Oh, Solak. Yo, X, you got two things on here, brother. Okay. That's the right one.
Yeah, X, you got two of them taken up. X, you got 2 slots taken up.
I'm gonna just kick one. I don't know which one is. Yo, X, can you say something?
That's probably been the reason why I couldn't talk, because it's been doubled up. And
oh, I don't see two of anyone. Oh, you kicked them?
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Oh,
because I was
got
running a
good.
double echo, and I couldn't hear anybody. Everybody was doubling up on their verses and words, but that's probably why, because I had 2 playing in the same background. So my bad. So
Oh, that sucks.
Dang.
That's like getting sniped right in the middle. Someone came along and put a bullet in the chamber and went and looked down the thing. It's like boom.
Dang.
That mouse key and spacebar action.
Yeah, the sniper rifle.
All right, I got a piece I want to share. Go ahead. We keep this thing going since we got more of the brothers in. And like I said, we're gonna stay on the topic. This is idolatry, and how it messed us up. And I'm gonna look at Ezekiel 14, and it says men came to me from the elders of Israel, and they sat before me. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, these men have brought up their idols upon their heart, and have placed the stumbling block of their iniquity opposite their faces. It says, Shall I then make myself accessible to them? Therefore speak with them and say to them, Thus said Adonai Yahweh Elohim, any man of the house of Israel who brings up his idols upon his heart, and places the stumbling block of his iniquity opposite of his face, and comes to the prophet, I Yahweh will respond to him, though he comes with the multitude of his idols. Let's stop. Think about what it just said. It didn't say he carried them up there in his hands. When he came with the multitude of his idols, he had them in his heart. And that's why it says he's placing the idol before his face. It's like it's blinding him. Opposite to his face. He can't see past it. And that's like these, I don't want to cut you off, but that's like some of our brothers, Bahashem, like it's the same shit, bro. Like they cannot get that out from in front of their face, bro.
And you know what's so weird about it? You say in the heart, and the heart doesn't sound gross enough. They're literally suitcasing these things. They're literally bringing them in their down there. They're stashing them, and then they're bringing them into a place where they know they're not supposed to bring them.
Khan, if I could just reiterate the verse that I just read. This is 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 2. From the nations of which Yahweh has said to the children of Israel, do not come into marriage with them, and they shall not come into marriage with you, for they will surely sway your hearts after their gods. Solomon clung to them for love. Salah. Oh yeah, X seems to have more troubles again, Brother Damian.
I had him back in. Oh, let me get this verse real quick, because remember, the heart, the word for heart also means mind as well. So hold on, I'm gonna just read it. This is Jeremiah 17. I'm gonna start at verse 5. Thus said Yahweh, accursed is the man who trusts in people and makes flesh and blood his strength and turns his heart away from Yahweh. He will be like a lone tree in the desert with no water, and he will not see when goodness comes. It dwells in parched lands, in the wilderness, in a salty, uninhabited land. There's no growth, no moisture for no vegetation, just dry. Verse 7, blessed is the man who trusts in Yahweh. Then Yahweh will be his security. He will be like a tree planted near water, which spreads out its roots along a brook and does not see when heat comes, whose foliage is ever fresh. It will not worry in a year of drought and will not stop producing fruit. The heart is the most deceitful of all, and it is fragile. Who can know it? I, Yahweh, plumb the feelings and test the innermost thoughts, to give man according to his ways, the fruits of his deeds. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Yahweh tests the heart. He tests you to see, if you, gonna follow his ways or not. If you gonna listen, or you just gonna continue to be a niggatron and do whatever you was doing.
Khan. Hey, is this not true? Is this not true or not? The heart has thoughts, and so does the mind. The heart has its own thoughts as well.
That's actually very true.
Khan.
It's been proven fact that the heart actually sends signals to your brain.
Khan. But then that's where discernment comes in. You know what I'm saying? Because so basically, the heart is the most deceitful. So when like using that thorough wire for contemplation, and you meditate upon it, you start to use discernment. You start to distinguish. You start to distinguish between certain things. You start to pick up on how can I put this? You start to observe, and
it cleanses your heart. It filters it.
You know what I'm saying? So it said Yahweh, will be his security. That's like the hedged about mind. You know what I'm saying? That's the Garden of Eden.
I hate to jump in like this, but we got some. We already got a troll. Someone found your channel that doesn't belong here.
Oh, I didn't even notice. I got a scripture real quick. I wanted to add on to do it.
Yeah, some dude saying you're Judah's a Kabbalistic priest or something.
That's fine. Hey, don't entertain the baboons. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. I'm sorry. My people have been eliminated for a lack of knowledge. Excuse me. For you have spurned knowledge, I will spurn you from serving me. As you have forgotten the Torah of your God, I too will forget your children. Let me just go on to verse 12. My people ask of its wood, or its counsel or advice of its idol, and its rod relates to it. For a spirit or a mind of harlotry has misled them, and they have strayed from under their God. And if you go down, Hosea chapter 5, verse 4, they will not abandon their deeds to return to their God. For a spirit of harlotries is in their midst, and Yahweh they do not know. And that word for harlotries is the word zana, which really means like a prostitute, but it also means like like idols, because Yahweh is supposed to be our husband. And when you're going after idols, what I'm saying, you're basically committing adultery. You know what I'm saying? Like you're prostituting yourself out. So it says a spirit or a mind of zana. And if you go down to verse 7, they betrayed Yahweh, for they begot alien children. And this word in here is not it's Zar, but it doesn't mean like they begot like mixed children. It means like because if you start at verse 5, verse 1, it's speaking to the priest. So when it says they begot Zar, Zaryam, like strange children, it means like children of like idolatry. They're supposed to be loyal to Yahweh, but they like are serving idols. So yeah, our people have the spirit of Zana, the spirit of idolatry or harlotry or prostitution in their mind. But yeah, it's one evident.
I wanted to say something. I wanted to add these following verses of this passage I was reading. Verse 3. And he had, this is 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 3. He had 700 wives who were noble women and 300 concubines, and his wives swayed his heart. So it was that when Solomon grew old, his wives swayed his heart after the gods of others. And his heart was not as perfect with Yahweh as his God as had been the heart of his father David. So just as the brothers were explaining how, just how I said, the Most High, they said the spirit of harlotry has swayed them. When it says mind, just like Brother Davion was explaining with the definition of the word, it can also mean heart. You know what I'm saying? So if a spirit of harlotry swayed your mind, it's also swayed your heart. A spirit of harlotry has swayed the hearts of the people of Yasharal. You know what I mean? So the hearts of the people have had an idolatrous rhythm or spirit embedded within it. Heart is hard to change because it catches a rhythm and it keeps the rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually and physically.
I want to add too, also the heart, like the mind is like the place of cogitation, but like the heart is like the seat of like emotion and like intent. You know what I'm saying? That's why Yahweh like probes the what's your heart's intent? Why are you doing this? What is your motive? You know what I mean? Is like the basis for like the heart. Like, you know what I mean? Like your mind may not make the right choices, but with your heart's intent may be in the right place, but your mind may not make the right choices. So I agree with brothers say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys use the word thought, but it's more like it's intent. Like, what is your, like, what's your motivation for doing what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, your desire. Yeah. Your desire is within your heart, and it really bleeds. I mean, it shows.
Brother, I got a step to speak back. Oh, sorry.
My bad. I just wanted to say, just like I just read in Jeremiah 17. You know what I'm saying? It says the heart is the most deceitful of all. So it's like if your heart, if they not, it got to be a balance. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just specifically go off emotion. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that because you're gonna be led astray. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have fair judgment. It's not how you feel, it's the truth about something. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah.
Con, I got one. I got a quick two of them. And I've done this one before, and that's going to be Daniel, and it's just relating to the heart and why you have to protect it, why it's so important. And we just look at Daniel, just a small example of Daniel. Go to Daniel 5:16 and 17. It says, but I have heard about you and what I have heard about you, that you are able to provide interpretation and resolve difficulties. Now, if you will be able to read the writing and make the interpretation known to me, you will wear royal purple with a chain of gold on your neck, and you will rule 1/3 of the kingdom. Daniel then replied and said before the king, let your gifts remain yours and give your rewards to others. It says, but I will read the writing of the king and make its interpretation known to him. And just going to jump over to Ecclesiastes. This is the reason why Daniel rejected that, and that's Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, for oppression makes the wise foolish, and a gift corrupts the heart. So Daniel knew, like he knew what he was. Just like us, here in Babylon, like some of us are just, living it up, just enjoying it. But Daniel knew what he was. And he straight up told the king, like, I don't want your gifts. Because he obviously knew, it goes back to what we've been sitting here showing. Those gifts corrupt you, and they corrupt your heart. And then once they got your heart, your mind is next. But with that, I yield.
Bro, that's fact, bro. I'm sorry.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, Slack. I wanted to bring out a verse. It's actually correlating to what the brothers are bringing out. It's going to be in Second Chronicles, and it's chapter 15. I'm gonna start at verse 1 and read down. And it says, a spirit of God came over Azariah, son of Wadad or Wadad, and when he or slop, and he went out before Asa, saying to him, hear me, Asa, and all of Yahweh and Benjamin. Yahweh is with you because you are with him. If you seek him, he will make himself accessible to you. But if you will abandon him, he will abandon you. Many days pass by for Yasharal without a true God and without a Cohen to teach and without Torah. Now, if you hold on, stop. So this was actually fairly early as the kingship goes. This was like, I think maybe the fourth or fifth generation. So it's pretty early. And it already stating that, hold up. Many days pass by for Yasharal without a true God and without a Cohen to teach and without Torah. And that's mainly because, one, Jeroboam, when he came back into Egypt, it was crowned king over Israel. He dismissed the Kawanayam and the Lawam that were in Yasharal, and he implemented his own priesthood and his own practices and teachings. So that's one cut, and that's really bad because he was an Israelite, but because he didn't have the spirit of an Israelite, obviously, because he fled into Egypt and then he brought Egypt back into the land. Then, he started corrupting and teaching the ways of Egypt back into the citizens, into the Akayim, within Yasharal. But I'm gonna continue to read, and it says, but they returned to Yahweh, the God of Israel, when they were in trouble, and he made himself accessible to them. In those times, there had been no peace for people coming and going, for many disturbances afflicted all the inhabitants of the lands. One nation was battered by the other, and one city by the other. For God confounded them with all kinds of trouble. But you be strong and do not lose resolve, for there is a reward for your actions. When Asa heard these words and the prophecy of the son of Wadad, the prophet, he was encouraged, and he removed the detestable things from all the land of Yahweh and Benjamin, and from all the cities which he had conquered from Mount Ephraim. And he rewarded the altar of Yahweh that was before him, the hall of Yahweh. He gathered together all of Yahweh and Benjamin, and those from Ephraim and Manasseh and Simeon who dwell among them, for many people of Yasharal defected to him when they saw that Yahweh, his God, was with him. So also, this is pivotal because the nation is split. The kingship is split. We have two kings ruling. We have a king of Judah and we have the king of Israel, which is the rest of the tribes. You know what I'm saying? So it's a split. But obviously, when the rest of the tribes saw that the Most High, the God of their forefathers, was with King Asa, the king of Yahweh, many of them relocated to Yahweh instead of their own ancestral lands, that were given by the Most High. They wanted to go back into Yahweh to seek the Most High, because, like was said, the king of Yasharal, which is usually Ephraimite, or not necessarily, but it happened to be so. They implemented things of others. You know what I'm saying? The same ideologies of the other nations. That's why when it said Ephraim intermingled and became one with the nations, you know what I'm saying? That's because of their many implementations and practices, and they also, they began too close with other nations. You know what I'm saying? Intermingling. And I have a verse on that as well. But this is just saying that King Asa, he removed the detestable things, which were the high places those altars, the Asherah trees, and all those detestable things that were in the land still. He removed them from Yehuda and Benjamin, and that was very important. And so, because of that, many of the people saw that the Most High was dealing with him because he was doing good deeds. So, with that, I yield.
Con.
Shalom. Shalom. I just wanted to, brother Shalom over at the crib.
Shalom.
Hey, Shalom.
How y'all doing?
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And I gotta take him back to his truck. So I was gonna leave the live stream running and to see if you brothers, can continue it because I gotta go take him back to his truck. But yeah.
If somebody falls out, then it's just gonna be out forever until you get back.
Yeah.
Shalom. Hey, it's good to see you brothers linked up again.
Con.
I didn't know you was on here. Where you at?
You right.
I'm here. It's good to see the brothers linked up again. That's what's up.
Con. It is good.
I'm kind of jealous up there. I'd like to see the brothers myself.
Man, you gotta bring your butt over here. I'll be passing
through
Indiana all the time, bro.
If you come back to the States and you come towards the Middle East, you got a place over here, or you know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I definitely love to, man. What? Well, of course, man. Y'all gotta show me where the green patch is at, though, bro.
I did have a verse real quick. This brother JoJo on the comment section. He wanted me to read Isaiah 58. I'm gonna start at verse 7. Surely you should break your bread for the hungry and bring the moaning poor to your home. When you see a naked person, clothe him, and do not hide yourself from your kin. Then your light will burst. Then your light will burst out like the dawn, and your healing will speedily sprout. Your righteous deed will precede you, and the glory of Yahweh will gather you in. Then you will call, and Yahweh will respond. You will cry out, and he will say, "Here I am." If you remove from your midst perversion, finger pointing, and evil speech, and offer your soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then your light will shine, even in the darkness, and your deepest gloom will be like the noon. Verse 11. Then Yahweh will guide you always, sate your soul in times of drought, and strengthen your bones, and you will be like a well-watered garden, and a spring of water whose waters never fail. Ancient ruins will be rebuilt through you, and you will restore generations old foundations, and they will call you repair of the breach and restorer of paths for habitation. You know what I'm saying? And that's also spreading Yahweh's truth.
Great verse.
Con. That was brother JoJo on the comment board.
That's Jordan to specify, because he got 18 nicknames.
Con. Dang. Oh man.
What's wrong?
Nah, I got to be back at his truck, but I don't know. Z, can you go live from your house? I can start another live stream as soon as I get back.
Well, either one is fine. Actually, my computer's terribly slow. I don't know.
If you gotta shut it down, excuse me. If you gotta shut it down, man, shut it down, bro. I mean, it's all right.
Fine, you can leave it up.
That's the thing, though. I didn't want to just start it up and then just close it down randomly. You know what I'm saying?
We've been off like an hour.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, if any other brothers got some last scriptures to bring out.
Why don't we just continue this? Why don't we just shut it down here? You go do what you need to do. Why don't we continue on your page, Jude?
All right. Well, I have something that I gotta do in an hour, but actually, wait, what time is it? I'm gonna hold you guys up. I'm gonna be live streaming tonight. At my night time, it'll be your morning, your Sabbath morning. So
that's 9:44 here. Central.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll jump on then. Yeah. Shalom, everybody. I'll catch you guys then.
Yeah.
Shalom.
So yeah, I'll stream on your guys' Shabbat morning.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Shalom, you guys. Yahweh Akkad.
Yahweh
Akkad.
Shalom.
I got one last verse though.
You said what?
I got one last verse.
I got one last verse too.
Go ahead.
I as well.
All right. So this is the well, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it out. Brother Vine was talking about it earlier, so I'm gonna hit him over the head with it. This is Psalms 106, and I'm gonna start at verse. Let's go to verse 25. It says, they murmured in their tents. They did not heed the voice of Yahweh. Then he lifted up his hand in an oath against them to cast them down in the wilderness, to cast down their descendants among the nations, and to scatter them among thy lands. Then they attached themselves to Baal Peor and ate the sacrifices of the dead. And they angered him with their behavior, and a plague broke out among them. And Phinehas arose and executed judgment, and the plague was halted. It was accounted to him as a righteous deed for all generations forever. They provoked at the waters of strife, and Moses suffered because of them, because they acted what's that, contrary to his spirit, and he pronounced with his lips. They did not destroy the peoples as Yahweh had told them, but they mingled with the nations and learned their deeds. The servants or slack and served their idols, which became a snare for them. And they sacrificed their sons and daughters to demons. They spilled innocent blood, the blood of their sons and daughters, whom they sacrificed to the Canaanite idols. And the land was polluted by the blood guilt. Thus were they defiled by their deeds and went astray through their actions. And Yahweh's anger was kindled against his people, and he abhorred his inheritance. And that's what happened.
Woo. Wow.
And I just got one just to it's just kind of gonna expound on why we're doing this. And, I think it's a lot of things we overlook, and that's going to be Zephaniah chapter 2, verse number 1 alone. It says, improve yourselves and improve each other, O nation without desire. So literally, this is our job. But with that, I want to say I yield. Shabbat Shalom.
Khan.
Shabbat Shalom. Because we supposed to build the temple, but it's also spiritual as well. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's actually spiritual first. Each and every physical, crafting of the temple has a spiritual aspect to it. Whether it be the incense altar, the planks, the takash skins, the red dye skins of the tabernacle, all of it has a spiritual meaning. For is teachings, for the soul, for elevation of the mind and the spirit. So as much as it is physical, it's spiritual first. And that's what Yasharal failed to understand. They always go straight to the image. You know what I'm saying? When there is no image.
Khan, if we read the definitions for idolatry earlier, and some of the connotations and some of the definitions for it included things like it said power or strength or wealth, or foolishness or nothingness. You know what I'm saying? But I did have a verse that I wanted to get out earlier. That I feel like it'd be great to end with. Jeremiah chapter 35. Verse starting off in the middle of verse 13. It says, will you not learn a lesson to hearken to my words, the word of Yahweh? Upheld were the words of Jehonadab, son of Rechab, who commanded his children not to drink wine, and they have not drank wine unto this day, for they obeyed the commandment of their ancestor. That's kind of compare Yasharal to the nations, because the nations keep their traditions better than we do, yet their traditions amount to nothing because they don't, the idols that they serve aren't real. So I'm gonna continue. It says, yet I've spoken to you arising early and speaking, and you have not listened to me. I sent all my servants, the prophets, arising early and sending them, saying, repent now, each of you from his evil way, improve your deeds. Do not go after the gods of others to worship them, so that you may settle upon the land that I have given to you and your forefathers. But you did not incline your ear, and you did not listen to me. For the children of Jehonadab, son of Rechab, have upheld the words of their ancestor, that they have commanded them. But this people have not listened to me. So that the Most High says it, the Most High speaks it himself. He says it right there. I mean, I can't say anything extra. It's all explained. So listen to those words and just remember, you know what I'm saying? we're supposed to serve the creator of heaven and earth. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. Our people don't take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? But our people don't really take a lot seriously. So I just want to say that, you know what I'm saying? All praises to Yahweh Akkad. You know what I'm saying? He's the only one. You know what I'm saying? And Yashra need to get out of idolatry. We need to change our hearts, and we need to do all we can to try to purify our hearts in these days, because we got a long way to go in recovery. You know what I'm saying? A long way to go when it comes to just getting ourselves right. So shalom to the brothers on the panel, and shalom to you brothers. Yahweh Akkad.
Yahweh God. I just want to get one small little verse. I know brother Shalom, I gotta, they gotta take care of their little thing. I'll just not hold anyone up. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 9. You must know that Yahweh your God, he is the God, the faithful God, who safeguards the covenant and kindness for those who love him and for those who observe his commandments for 1,000 generations. And he repays his enemies in his lifetime to make him perish. He shall not delay for his enemy. In his lifetime he shall repay him. You shall observe the commandments and the decrees and ordinances that I command you today to perform them. So Yahweh God.
Con. I got one last verse. This Psalms 26. I'm gonna start at verse 1. By the wad, judge me, Yahweh, for I have walked in my perfect innocence, and I have trusted in Yahweh. I shall not waver. Examine me, Yahweh, and test me. Scrutinize my intellect and my heart, or mine. For your kindness is before my eyes, and I have walked in your truth. I did not sit with dishonest people, nor did I associate with hypocrites. I hated the gathering of evildoers, and I did not sit with the wicked. I washed my hands in purity and circle around your altar, Yahweh, to proclaim thanksgiving in a loud voice and to recount all your wondrous deeds. Yahweh, I love the shelter of your house and the place of your glorious residence, the sanctuary, the temple. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with men of bloodshed, in whose hand is conspiracy and whose right hand is full of bribery. As for me, I will walk in my perfect innocence. Redeem me and show me favor. My foot is set on the straight path. In assemblies, I will bless Yahweh. So, you got to get the idolatry out of the temple, out of your mind, out of your heart, because it's corrupting your way. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with Yahweh. Yahweh's glory will not be given to another. As much as Yasharal try to, it won't. It's not going to happen. And as it says Yahweh is not going to act for our righteousness, but for Yahweh's sake, he will act. Because where, we desecrated his name, you know what I'm saying? So he said he's going to act because of the promise he swore to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not because of our righteousness. You know what I'm saying? So, because, we've been a stiff-necked people since Yahweh brought us out of the land of Egypt. But it's up to us to come back to him, to turn back to his Tawawah and his, and follow his truth.
I got precept.
Shalom said he got a verse.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, Shalom. I can this is Psalms 119. I'm gonna start at verse 52. It says, I remember your rules of old, O Yahweh, and find comfort in them. Godly. Hold on. I'm using my phone, so let me just use your tool real quick.
Just stay. Make sure you stay closer to the mic.
Okay. Psalms 119. What that's hold on, I'm looking for it. Let's see, 117, 18, 19.
No, you fine. Shalom, I don't know if you ever noticed, but when you're normally on your regular page and you be talking, it's really quiet.
Yeah, I know it'll be low. I'll be driving and stuff. I'm using my Bluetooth, or sometimes I'll be using my headphones all the time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I don't have a laptop. So this Psalms 119, verse 53. Verse 52. I remember your judgments of old, O Yahweh, and I was comforted. Trembling seized me because of the wicked who forsake your Torah. Your statutes were music to me in my dwelling place. In the night I remembered your name, O Yahweh, and I kept your Torah. All this came to me because I guarded your precepts. My portion is Yahweh. I have pledged to keep your words. I pleaded before you with all my heart. Favor my according to your purpose. I considered my ways and returned my feet to your testimonies. I hastened and I did not delay to keep your commandments. Bands of wicked men plundered me, but I did not forget your Torah. At midnight I arise to thank you for your righteous ordinance. I'm a friend to all who fear you and to those who keep your precepts. And this, I'm gonna get to 65. Your kindness, Yahweh, fills the earth. Teach me your statutes. You have done good to your servant, or Yahweh, according to your word. Teach me good reasoning and knowledge, for I have been faithful to your commandments. And that's that. I mean, that speaks for itself, man. Like, you gotta keep the commandments. Like, he's gonna guide you, man. Like, the Most High guides you. You know,
that was a great passage.
Yeah, it is.
Man, that was a great pat. Hey, listen, I want to bring this one precept out. I ain't trying to hold nothing up, man, but this is jumping off to me so bad right now. This is Zephaniah.
Oh, you good.
And this is about the idolatry, and this is the stuff we keep telling people, I mean, to this day. This is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse number 5. Please listen to this. It says, and those who prostrate themselves on the roofs to the heavenly host, and those who bow down and swear to Yahweh and then swear by their king. That's exactly what we be telling these people. You can't swear by Yahweh and something else, and you can't put nothing right next to Yahweh. Like, you can't do that.
That's what they be saying with bippity boobity bop boop bop. But they be trying to say what they saying. It makes no sense because they're trying to erect a pillar with the Most High's name, and that's just terrible. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to commit some of the most highest forms of blasphemy. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? It goes back to like when Yahweh brought us out of Egypt, bringing us to the land of Yasharal, the land of Canaan, right? He said we shall smash their pillars, break apart their altars, because Yahweh, you can't mix the holy with the profane. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be separate. So Yahweh can't dwell amongst uncleanliness. Even when they were about to receive the first tablets, you know what I'm saying? It said, no man shall come near a woman. You know what I'm saying? They shall remain clean.
They had to remain clean for 3 days before the Most High descended on Sinai.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't, you just can't do it. You have to be Kodash or set apart. Just like the head plate that the priest wore, said holy to Yahweh. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, with that, shalom to all the brothers on the panel and everyone tuning in on the comment board, and like all praises to Yahweh for allowing us to get together and continue to do live stream, and to smash altars and break apart those pillars, and just get the idolatry out of here, because Yasharal is just still all up in that idolatry, just don't know how to get out. You know what I'm saying? And it's also confusing for those who are actually seeking truth, but are being misled because they come across the Israelite videos who ain't talking about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it corruption all around. And now they trying to call us all radicals, and like they just trying to destroy us as a people. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's a mutiny.
They helping who's out, make us look bad, man. They really are.
They want us to be extremists or whatever they want to label us, so they can just round us up. Because they trying to do that with some white people already. They're already doing that with like the people in northern part of they're doing it with the people of Mexico. Come on now.
Hey, shout out, my legs is getting tired.
No, man, just a bit over the weather. I'll put it like that.
I'm probably yawning, brother.
I'm a bit. That's all. I'll
But
leave
yeah.
it at that.
But yeah, shalom to all the Torah keepers out there. The brothers, the brothers that came on, and the brothers and sisters of Torah Knights, the true keepers of the Torah. You know what I'm saying? And with that, SOJ, Torah Knights, shalom, Yahweh Akkad.
Shalom, Yahweh God.
Shalom, Yahweh God.
If anybody want to keep this going, hey, I'm game.
Come. Shalom.
Shalom.